Here's our NBA analyst, Jevohn Shepherd, always impeccably dressed. We've got a lot of great jackets on the show tonight.
You're the mentor. I'm following you.
I mean, this is fun stuff for us. We get to dress up, talk sports, talk about the fact that Kyrie Irving, inexplicably, people question whether this would be a good fit in Dallas. It's turned out to be an incredible fit, and he just seems to be a happier guy even off the court.
Yeah, happier. He's in a place where he knows that the front office and the team want him there. He's comfortable in his skin right now. You think about it, he's 32 years old. He's been through the roller coaster of the NBA, right? He's won himself a championship with LeBron. He's been the star. He's been, in a role. But I think tonight what we've seen was a guy that understands, this is a dynamic duo when he needs to step up, when he doesn't. That first quarter, he had his best opening quarter in his entire playoffs, just getting into the paint, getting downhill, just using his skill and being crafty. And then you have Luka, who's magical, right?
Yeah.
The 15 points in the fourth quarter. He went NBA 2K mode there. But just understanding how Minnesota is defending them, getting everything they got was below the free throw line. That second half, Minnesota played the math game, right? We're going to take away, the threes. We're going to allow Luka to become a scorer and, just assume that Gobert is going to block shots at the rim. But Luka's too good of a finisher, right?
Yeah.
He was getting to those spots, and also before he got to the rim, bumping off the defense and creating that gap. There was a number of times he had Ant defending him, and Ant just looked small. He didn't look strong enough, didn't look big enough. Daniels, he kept him on his hip and got himself downhill to the rack. But those two are special because both of those guys are finishers. Both of those guys have the ability to close. But Kyrie also understands this is Luka's team. So I'll take a back seat when Luka's going. And everybody else, all the auxiliary pieces, they may not have the basketball in their hands a lot to be creative or score the basketball, but they understand that Luka's going to get them to rock, and they live and die with Luka Doncic.
And I loved what Kenny Smith said going into this series. He said either Luka Doncic or Anthony Edwards will emerge as the new face of the NBA when this is all over. Edwards a quiet 19. How does Minnesota get him going?
Well, I don't think Minnesota has to get him going. Ant has to get himself going. And sometimes when we talk about leadership, we're just thinking scoring. Right, but there's also power and force in a guy that is able to get his teammates involved. And the first three quarters, that's what he was doing. He knew that Dallas was sending two at him, and he's going to get McDaniels open. There's a number of times he was force-feeding him. McDaniels knocking down shots, slow-mo knocking down shots as well. Kyle Anderson, slow-mo. But he moves like molasses. It's always amazing when I watch him play. But he understands, okay, I've got to be the leader in terms of the decision-making.
Yeah.
Right, and I think for Ant, it's just finding that balance of, yes, I'm going to get my teammates involved, but I have this magnetic and infectious personality that everybody gravitates towards. So when we need him to score a bit more, when they need him to score a bit more, he's got to be able to turn it on because he invigorates that squad.